Okay, we're going to do second lesson on primitives and areas of composite shapes. Remember, composite shapes are the ones that it doesn't have a particular name for it, but it's combined one or two, okay, not one, two or three shapes together. Okay, the summary. We've done this last lesson, so I'm not going to go into too much. If you need to, please go and have a look at the last lesson's video. Okay, so the area for rectangle equals length times width. Okay, length times width. Anything with the area you need to times. Okay, and whereas a perimeter is a distance around the shape. So that means you have to add them together. It depends on the sides of the shape. So if you got 4 sides, you need to add the 4 values together. If it's 5 sides, you need to have 5 numbers together. Now, triangle, we're going to go here right now. Triangle is the half, area-wise, half of rectangle. So that's what there's a half here. Okay? And then a base times height can be the length times width if it was a right angle triangle. But it's not. This B is our base and H is our height. Now, height and base has to be perpendicular. Can you see that there's this right angle symbol right there? That's what it's perpendicular for. Okay, so another thing we need to know, this is the easier one. Say this is a square, right? So this is a square. And square has all 4 sides are equal. Okay, so for example, if I call it A on one side, they're all going to be A. So for perimeter, for a square, it'll be 4A. Why? Because you're going to go A plus A plus A plus A, which is 4A. So really, it means 4 times the side, okay, which is A. Now, area of square is side times side, because that side could be your width, that could be your length. So width times length, same thing as A times A. So it's going to be A squared. When you times it, it's going to be power. Okay, so squared, not 2A, A squared. So example 6. Now we are going to find the area of each shape, but some of them I would like you to find the perimeter as well. Not all of them, but some of them. So let's have a look. I need to find area of this composite shape. Now, composite shape here, okay, area of composite shape is the shaded area, okay? So I'm going to go area of shaded equals, how are we going to find area of this part, where all this shaded part, okay? So I'm going to find it. If you think about it, if I could actually call the outside, this is actually square, guys, because all 4 sides are equal, is square, okay? I'm going to call this is area 1. And then inside, smaller, I'm going to call area 2, okay? So these, both of them are squares. How do I know it's a square? Because all 4 sides are equal. If it's one of those like these, that top and the bottom are the same, like a size A, but on the side, left and right, are different, like size B, that's what we call rectangle. But all 4 sides are equal is square. So this is actually square. Okay, so we got 2 squares. One is a big, one is a small one. Now, how am I going to find all the shaded part? Where's it's like almost like a big square and it's got a small square, it's a hole in the middle. So I'm going to go area 1, the big square, take away the small square, area 2, will give me the whatever it's in the middle, which is a shaded part. Square is all sides same. So I'm looking at the big square right now, which is the 16 meters, 16 meters. Now, side times side is the square. So I'm going to go with the 16 times 16 is my area for the big square. And the little square I have, which is all the same size, is 10 meters. So I'm going to go with 10 times 10 because they're all the same size. Okay, so when you do that, put it in your calculator. Before you do it, put it in your calculator, I would like this to look like a little bit more with the powers in it, since they're the same. So I'm going to call it 16 squared minus 10 squared because it's timesing it by itself twice. You will have 156 meter squared. That's my area for the shaded part. Now, this one, I would like to find perimeter. Okay, perimeter as being all the way around the big square and then the size of inside. So this one was a 16, 16. Inside is 10, isn't it? 10, 10, 10. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add them all up. Perimeter equals, I'm going to add all 16, 4 of them, isn't it? So I could just do 16 plus 16 plus 16 plus 16, or I could say 4 times 16 because there are 4 of them. But that's only the outside. I need to think about the inside as well, which is 4 times 10. Okay, so 4 times 16 is 64. If you put that in your calculator, and 4 times 10 is 40. So my perimeter is 104 meters. It's not meters squared, meters. So what I've got here, area I have meter squared, and I have 104 meters for perimeter. So be careful with that. Now what do we have here? Part B. We have 2 shapes here. One, I'm going to call the big shape is, I'm going to call it area 1. And the little shape that it's inside, I'm going to call area 2. Okay? Shaded area, which is a composite area, equals, we need to get area 1 take away area 2, okay? Because this part is a little like a big holes in it, okay? So let's have a look at area 1, guys. Area 1 is the triangle, okay? It's the triangle. Formula for area of triangle is half times base times the height, wasn't it? Okay, so here I'm looking at the area 1. What is my base on this shape here is 15 meters. And on my height is the long vertical one, which is 18 meters. Okay, so that's what I've got. Okay, now area 2, it's a quadrilateral shape, which is, quadrilateral means 4 sides. And I can see that all 4 sides are equal as 8 meters. So it's going to be square. and square with the side length is 8 meters. Okay, so I'm going to find area is half times base. So all information here. Base is 15 times height is 18 minus the area of the square. It's this one, which is 8 times 8. Okay. Now with the half in your calculator, you could just write it 0.5 if you want. So you could go 0.5 times 15 times 18, 135. Okay, and that 8 squared, which is 8 times 8, 64. Now put that in your calculator, you will get 71 meter squared because it's area. Okay, so be very careful because this one we had 2 different shapes, therefore we'll have a 2 different formula to use. Part C. Okay, there's no holes in this one, composite shape, so we gotta have to add them all up. If there's a hole in it, we take away, but if there isn't, we're gonna add them all up. Now, I want to ask you, how many small triangles can you see? I can see 4 triangles. Now, how many big triangles with straight up perpendicular heights in it? That's my first triangle. Oops. Okay, and then so that's my oh, this is a common side. They're sharing this one side together. So I've got 2 triangles, isn't it? Okay, 2 big triangles. So if I want to find the total area for this, I want to go total. This is area 1. I'm going to call this one area 2. You could swap around if you want to. So I'm going to go area 1 and we need to add area 2 because there's no holes in it. Area of triangles, we need to have 0.5. I'm going to use 0.5 instead of a half. 0.5 times base, okay, and then height. Okay, now I'm going to look at first triangle. Okay, so I'm looking at this one right now. Okay, the top one. So 0.5 times, what is my base? Base is what's on the bottom. Okay, here. Ooh, that looks like it's a big number. So base will be, I'm going to have to add it all up. 6 plus 10 plus 5. That's my base. Okay, I'm adding all this together. Okay, because 6 is from here to here. Okay, and then 10 is the other little bits and 5 is the other one. So to get the total base length, I have to add all 3 measurements there. And then height, my height is this one, 8. Okay, so I'm going to put 8 there. All right, so it's going to be 0.5 times 6 plus 5 is 11. 11 plus 10 is 21 times 8. So I'm just going to leave it like that for a while. Or maybe we can just do calculation. So 84 meter squared. They're all like in meters at the moment, but it could be centimeters or anything, millimeters or anything like that. So now I'm looking at this one on the bottom side, bottom triangle right now. Okay, so 0.5 times my base, the top triangle and the bottom triangle, they're both sharing the same base. So it's going to be 6 plus 10 plus 5 as well. So I'm just going to put 21 because they're the same. And my height is 12 right there. Okay, that's my height. So I'm going to put 12. Now put that all in your calculator. What I get is 126 meter squared. Okay, area 1 was 84 meter squared plus area 2 was 126 meter squared. So when you add it together, I will get 210 meter squared. That's what I'm going to get. Now, next one, again, this one doesn't have any holes in it. So I'm going to have to add them all up. But this one looks quite complicated, doesn't it? So it doesn't looks like we can actually just halve it or just cut it in a certain way to get just two shapes. It looks like it's going to get more than. We're going to get more than just two shapes. Why? If I just cut it here and then cut it here as well, I will get 1, 2, 3 shapes. Okay? But good thing about this is they're all similar shape, right? Because it's going to be, all 3 of them will be rectangles. So my area for a rectangle is L times width. And perimeter, this is another one we're going to find the perimeter. Perimeter will be L plus width plus width. So literally it's going to get 2L plus 2W. We're going to use that later. Okay, so what I'm going to do is total area or composite shape, area of composite shape. Now I'm going to have to do area 1 plus area 2 plus area 3. That's what I'm going to have to do. But before we do that, I want you to have a look at area 1 and then area 3. I want you to have a look at those two. Okay, so area 1, third shape, if I look at, it's a same really, because it says here. Okay, so I can see that the area 1, area 3 are the same really. So what I'm going to do is double the area 1 will be the same as area 1 plus area 3. I'm going to double it. I'm going to times by 2, double it, plus area 2, because area 2 is not the same. So that's different. And I'm going to do area 2 right now. Area 2. And area 2, what do I have for area 2? Let's have a look. This is area 2 right now. That's a 200 centimeters right there. And what about these? What's the length for these guys? It is, I'm looking at this one right now. Okay, so that's the question mark we have to find. Now, if you look at it, the whole thing is a 300, isn't it? And then if I could take away 80 and 80 from the 300, I will get this length. Okay, so what I'm going to do is a 300 take away 80, take away 80. And that will give me, what will it get me? 140. If you put that in your calculator, you will get 140. So this is 140 centimeters. Okay. Now, I've got all the information I need. I'm doing the total area right now. So total area equals, I'm going to use this one because 2 times area 1 is 300 times 100 because length times width, because it's a rectangle. So I'm going to go 300 times 100. And then plus, I'm going to do this area 2, which is 200 times 140. So put that in your calculator. Now 300 times 100 is 30,000, because there's a what? 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. So I'll put 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to double this. What's a 30,000 plus 30,000, or doubling it? 60,000. So, okay, so that's done. And I'm timesing 2 times 14. What's a double of 14? 28. And how many zeros we got? 1, 2, 3. So I'm just going to put 1, 2, 3. Okay? So, and then I'll add this 28. When I do that, 60 plus 28 is 88,000. And don't forget the units, centimeters squared. Okay, so that's what we got. Now, this one, I want to find perimeter. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit challenging for us. I'm going to find perimeter. That's what I'm going to find. So how many sides? How many sides do we have? 1, 2. Now, don't forget this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, you got 12 sides. So that means 12 values, 12 numbers you need. Okay, so that means 12 numbers to add up. Okay, so I'm going to write them all here, starting with the number 1, 300 plus 100 plus, so 80, plus 200 plus 80 plus 100 plus, so we're up to number 7, 300 plus. Now, where is this number 8? That's the same as 100, okay? So 100 plus number 9, I got 80 plus number 10, same as 200 plus 80. That's not 11 right now, up to. And then 12, last one, is same as 100. So when you add them all up, before we add them all up, let's count whether we have got 12 numbers. Otherwise, it won't be the correct answer. So let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Excellent. So when you add them all up, you got 1,720 centimeters. That's your perimeter. Okay, so that was a little bit of tricky one. It's not hard, but make sure if you count the sides and you make sure you got 12 numbers and you add them all up, that's your perimeter. But it's something to do with area, you times it, but you need to make sure you change into simpler basic shapes like a square, rectangle, and triangle, and use those formula to add up with the composite shapes. Okay, so that's the end of the lesson. Thank you.